Hi there, Sagittarius. This is Carrie Mubarak at wooingnature.life, and this is your January 2020 reading, monthly reading, and we are getting ready for the new year, or we're already in the new year, depending on when you're watching this video. But preparing ourselves for 2020 is going to be really a work in progress. There's going to be works in progress. There's going to be organizational management and trying to reorganize and restructure because we're building foundations in this numerological 4 year. So new foundations are very important to how things are moving astrologically and energetically into the new millennium. We are setting some very firm foundations for ourselves and also for each other, and we're really kind of bringing this thing together. So this is an exciting time, but you won't necessarily expect to see lots of rapid changes all at once. There's some foundation building that has to happen. So I'm going to be talking in this video about the astrology of January, things that I've noticed and paid attention to astrologically that are happening to all of us. And then I'm going to give you a sampling of readings, and the reason for that is twofold. One, it's so that you can get a sense of what these readings are. So when you go to the website and you're looking at the services and you're looking for readings, you'll have a sense of the type of reading that you want to do. So I will be doing a medicine wheel reading today, an I Ching reading. I'll do a love reading, and I'll do a wealth reading for you. And this is to serve as sort of a guidepost or a guideline for you throughout the year. Though I am not looking at the astrology for the whole year, and I'm not doing readings for the whole year, it's just for January. January has some really unique indications there that this is setting the pace for the rest of the year, setting foundations for the rest of the year, and some groundwork that needs to happen. And that groundwork is really just going to be a point of reference from which all things blossom for you for the rest of the year. So throughout the year, just revisit your January revisit your January video, just so you can gauge and see how you're coming along and how you're progressing, or how this information that I'm giving you today is assimilating, or how you're assimilating that information in your life. And then, of course, we do these readings every month, so you can check back in with that. So astrologically speaking, we have quite a lineup in January of planets in Capricorn. Capricorn's a very serious sign. It's also the sign of recognition. So some of you will be getting some recognitions during January. It's also a sign of accomplishment, success, monetary, as well as just you being able to receive just rewards for the work that you have put in. That energy is circulating around us. So if you have put in the time and you put in the effort and you put in the energy, then January should represent in one way or the other the fruits of your labor. So think about that, and have that at the forefront of your mind, and be thinking about what you've given in the past and how that's now going to be rewarded or recognized. At the same time, you'll also want to be monitoring any kind of processes that or any kind of organizational stuff, operational stuff. So if you're on the job and you're looking at your systems, your policies, procedures, if you all are in business for yourself, you need to take a moment, or particularly if you're an entrepreneur and you're kind of new at the game, you want to take a moment to really organize your framework and make sure that that framework is sturdy enough to handle volume if as volume starts to come in. So organizational management is kind of a key buzzword. Organizational management is not just about your job or your career, or in a career type situation. Organizational management has to happen at a personal level too. So you've got to be really clear about how you are aligned and what your purpose is. And once you are aligned with your purpose, then you'll know the things that you that are important to you or less important. You can start to prioritize and streamline if you need to streamline. If you are feeling overwhelmed in any way, or you're feeling kind of overburdened with responsibility, this is a time to take responsibility. Yes, because that's a very Capricorn and a very Saturn thing to do, but it's also a good time to assess what your responsibilities and your commitments truly are. And as you think about that, and as you decide what your new commitments are going to be, first of all, to yourself. So you really got to have a commitment to yourself first. Then you'll know how that spills out into your partnerships, into your family, into your community, into your work, career, or into the world, wherever you see that, or wherever you feel yourself being positioned in that way. So this lineup, we have Saturn and Pluto in Capricorn. They have been there for years, so you know the effect that it is having on all of us is kind of slow but methodical, and also significant and important. You may be feeling that, you may not be feeling that in greater or smaller ways, because again, that is a slow transit. So sometimes that change is happening over such a slow period of time that we don't even notice the transition, but it is there, and it is all about connecting and remembering that you're not an island, remembering that the best things come from putting two heads are better than one, or the group effort is really going to trump the solo effort moving forward, as Pluto and as Saturn get a good look at this and think about how we collectively are going to restructure how we do business in the world, how we are connecting, and how those connections are affecting our livelihood, how they're affecting our well-being, how it's affecting how we maneuver with each other in society, and in community, within the village, within the family, of course, within the self. That's first and foremost. And so we just want to kind of be in synchronicity with that, because it's Saturn and Pluto. Saturn and Pluto are going to turn you whether you want to get turned or not. All right, and so then we have a couple of other planets, more personal planets. Mercury is in Capricorn. Jupiter is in Capricorn. Jupiter and Capricorn have this push-pull effect, this ebb-flow effect of expansion and retraction. Expansion and retraction. You're building a muscle. So you're contracting a muscle and letting it loose, contracting and letting it loose. That's how you build up muscle, and you're building up muscle right now. And that's the strength that you're going to need, the foundation that you're going to need for what it is that you're going to be doing with your life as it pertains to your purpose. Because Mercury is there, our thinking and also our communication is very Saturnalian in nature. Saturn rules Capricorn. So you may be in a little bit of a somber mood, or you may be just speaking to people in a kind of strictly business tone. That's because you have to get to some raw bottom lines for yourself, and you have to be clear about what it is that people are expecting of you and what they can expect from you. So setting boundaries, verbalizing those boundaries, thinking about the boundaries are all Mercurian things that are happening for all of us, and being able to express that and being able to communicate that with others. So it's a different level of communication for us, a much more succinct measure of communication for us. This isn't like, even when you're thinking about your more personal relationships, love relationships, family relationships, we are still communicating about our boundaries, because in order for us to be able to live with each other in harmony, we have to know what each other wants. We have to know what our limits are, what our buttons that get pushed, and we have to make a commitment collectively to living in harmony. But the only way you know that is by being clear about yourself and what you want, and then your partner also doing that same thing, and then you all coming to a compromise, or either seeing where the two circles meet and create this kind of Venn diagram effect in the middle, and then that's where you operate from, is from that middle point where the two of you join. So in the middle of February, and I'll talk about this more in the February reading, we do have Mars coming into Capricorn too. Some are moving out of Capricorn, some are moving into Capricorn. But between January and February, it's a heavy Capricorn push of energy for us to kind of get things lined up and get clear and reestablish and establish, or not reestablish, but establish some new rules for ourselves and for each other so that we can continue living in harmony. So that's the astrology for January. How it affects you or how that's going to affect you, you'll wait and see. And just make notes, do some journaling, Sagittarius, and that will kind of help you, you know, see later where you've come and how far you've come, and how you're progressing. So let me see. Next up will be the readings. I'm going to take a little short pause. I'm going to grab the cards. I'm going to do your medicine wheel, your I Ching, your love, and your wealth reading. Not necessarily in that order. So I'll be right back. All right, Sag. So I'll be reading from the Mystical Shaman Oracle. This is my go-to deck for medicine wheel readings. The medicine wheel is associated with Native American traditions and Native American teachings. It is a tool that is used in many different ways within the culture to bring about healing and balance, and it's also for teaching and for learning and discovering and for our own evolution. We consider it to be the medicine wheel because it is a healing tool. Medicine, the medicine could be anything. Medicine can be actual medicine, herbs, and pills or treatments, but medicine can also be the thing that allows you to heal emotionally or mentally or spiritually as well. So wherever the medicine is for you, the medicine in this spread or the spread that brings about the medicine for you, just use it as that. This is a 5-card spread. It is a 5-card spread, and that 5-card spread tells us at the center what's going on with you, and then it looks at you from all points, north, south, east, and west. It is a 360-degree reading, so it gives you a very circumspect view of where you are right now. Each of those directions corresponds to an element: earth, air, fire, and water, or your physical, your mental, your emotional, and your spiritual. So it is a well-rounded reading, even though it's not a lot of cards, but it gives you some direction on, you know, where you are right now, where the medicine is. It'll kind of point out what is going to be healing for you, or what is going to help you evolve depending on where you are. So right here in the center, and this card has been coming up for a lot of different zodiac signs, is the curse. And I don't see this as being a curse like you are cursed, but the curse being the thing that keeps you from really pressing forward in your life. And for me, when I see this image, I see this person with their mouth covered, and to me that means that there is an expression an expression of yourself that needs to come out, and the effect of not having you being able to freely express yourself is this feeling like there's a curse on you, or there's like this burden on you that you can't release, or something like that, or you feel like you're being blocked, or you feel like you're being kept from the thing that you really want. But it's really about expression. So you want to work on your throat chakra energy. That's creative expression, as well as verbalizing what you really feel, what you really think, and allowing that to come through, and not being afraid of that, not judging it. Not judging your thoughts and not judging your expression, but just being able to express freely as you feel like you need to, and not holding back and not holding that in. So we don't want for who you are to be stuffed down, or to be muffled, or to be stifled. And perhaps right now, Sagittarius, that's how you're feeling. In the South, which is excuse me, the place of youth and the place of childhood, it's also a place of learning for a lot of us. You have the ancient ones, and the ancient ones are, you know, your spirit guides, your helpers from the other side. All of us have an assembly of spiritual guides that protect us, or watch out for us, or pave the way for us, or open doorways for us. We all walk with them, and so you're learning about where those energies reside with you, and how they're residing with you at this time. This is especially important to you, or will be especially important to you as you start to talk about those modes of expression and needing to express yourself. They are going to help you with that as well. So you want to tap in here through meditation and connect with your spirit guides whenever you need help or whenever you need guidance, or if it's something you're confused about or something that's absolutely new to you, then you'll want to tap into those ancient beings that are protecting and guiding you for your guidance and for your protection. So in the West, we have the Andean cross. This Andean cross corresponds to the medicine wheel, and it corresponds to mandalas, the potomitan. There are many throughout many cultures across the world. This symbol shows up in one way or the other. It is there to represent that portal through which spirit reaches down into the physical realm and how that happens. So this idea of a cross represents the crossroads. There are many crossroads in life. We have crossroads. We get to a place and we have to make a decision about where we're going to go and which direction we're going to take. But then also there's a crossroads between the spiritual world and the physical world, and that Andean cross kind of encompasses all of that. So we see this in the Native American medicine wheel, of course, with the Andeans. We have the Andean cross. In Vodou, we have the Potomitan. If we are talking about Native Americans, we're talking about the medicine wheel. If you go to India, this is the mandala. You go to Tibet and talk about tankas and meditation with tankas. All of that is kind of encompassed there. So this is sitting in your West position. So a part of your experience either needs to be, or it has been, to make this connection to this crossroads, to this energy of being in the crossroads and being in that space so that you can receive whatever messages you need or whatever downloads that you need at the time. There's a connection to the past with you and this Sagittarius, and I think that this connection to the ancient ones is also going to connect you here to where that medicine wheel, or where the energy of the crossroads, the spirits of the crossroads, and there are many spirits of the crossroads. The crow is represented there, the fox is represented there, the coyote is represented there, the spider is represented there. Those are all animal totems that we associate with this energy. But again, this is information that you need to know. It's connected to your past. You may have forgotten how to use this this symbol or use this energy, and the ancient ones or those guides or ancient spirits are trying to lead you back to that, and they're doing it through some lessons and some teachings that you are involved in right now. At the north, we have the luminous warrior, and so this is a warrior of light. So all of this, all of what you're experiencing right now spiritually, very high spiritual time for you, Sagittarius, but it's so that you will know who you are, and you are a warrior of light. You have to understand light and darkness. You have to understand light and darkness within yourself. You have to know how to use light. All of that is wisdom and knowledge that you are gaining through your experiences right now. So again, a very high spiritual time, even though you may be feeling blocked. So it seems like you're feeling blocked, but what's going on around you is they're kind of lining up some energetic pathways for you, because this is definitely a portal. It's definitely a portal and a pathway, and that portal or pathway for you, Sagittarius, is through your past, probably through your ancestry, more than likely. So connect with your ancestors. In the east, which is the open gateway, the gateway through which we cross into the next threshold of life. When we talk about the Andean cross, which sits across from this card in the spread, this one is at the west, this one is at the west, and this one is at the east. And so the portal, if we want to talk about portals to the next phase, you'll want to, again, tap into your past, tap into your ancestry, because they are going to lead you to the next phase, and you are their beloved. There is love here. There is giving here. There is a place of heart, a path of heart that's calling you to it. Your ancestors are calling you toward that path, and you feel compelled toward it too. It is a path of heart. It comes from the heart. And so again, if you're experiencing any kind of blocks in expression or blocks to that, then it means means that you need to tap into all these other areas, okay? If there is any sense of feeling cursed or feeling blocked or feeling like you're not getting what you want to, this is the pathway in. Understanding yourself as a warrior of light. So you are here to fight the darkness. Understanding where the portal lives, where it exists for you, and how to tap into those portals of information. That portal is going to lead you to the ancient ones, the ones that are guiding you and protecting you from the other side. Expect to have dreams. They love you, you love you, and your heart is drawing you to that place. So very highly spiritual time for you in January. And I highly recommend that you tap into that ancestral link, because it's an ancestral link that is going to open that doorway for you and bring you into a greater understanding of who you really are. And what I'm feeling right now, Sagittarius, is that this is the expression that is being muffled. This is the expression of self that is either being stamped out or clamped down on, or something to that effect. Okay. All right. So I pulled an animal totem card for you, and you got the bobcat. The bobcat, I love the bobcat. First of all, it's a cat. So you're going to start with the cat energy. Cat energy represents independence. Cats are unique unto themselves. They have their own personalities. They do their own thing. They do their own thing when they get ready. All cats in the cat species will carry that energy. So in January, salute your independence. Walk with your independence. The other thing about cats is they know when to take it easy, and they know when to do what they got to do, and they move with the energy of the moon. They move with spirit. So you will have to move in that way. Bobcats are creatures of high places. So reaching your higher frequencies in your mind, your body, and your spirit. This animal will help you navigate that territory. And as you are connecting and going through portals, you can walk with the bobcat as your power animal. This card says life is a mystery. And so you are going right into the mystery realms for sure. I can see that through the other cards that we had in the medicine wheel spread. So you can expect to be able to tap into some of that mysterious the mysterious realms of life, and be able to navigate it pretty easily. Again, you are the luminous warrior here, and so you'll be walking with the bobcat as your totem throughout. Look up the bobcat, learn about its habitat, learn about its habits, mating habits, eating habits, where it lives, how it manages its life, because there will be clues in the life of the bobcat that will also give you clues as to how you want to, how you need to be maneuvering right now with other people and in your environment. Okay. So just kind of pay attention there and keep that in mind. All right. So, I'm moving right along here and to the I Ching. I like going to the I Ching because the I Ching for me gives a great overview of generally what's going on. It's a very broad form of divination, but sometimes the broader it is, you can really get a lot out of it. It's not so much, I Ching is not so much for like, it's like pressing questions or overarching issues or things that are really, that have either been persistent issues that you can't seem to get past. I would use I Ching for that. Also, if you're trying to gauge and see like where you are in your life and whether or not, you're getting the right information or you're receiving the right guidance overall, right? I Ching is really good for that too. So it builds from passages from the throw of the coins. So there's a coin method, there's a yarrow method, and then I am using cards today. And I do like this method. I was hesitant about using cards for I Ching, but They do work, and I like this Klaus Holitzka deck a lot, and I've gotten some really great readings for it. But again, these are more overall messages, or you're just going to kind of let the information wash over you. That's the way I deal with the I Ching as far as a divination method. I just kind of listen to the passage, and the things that jump out are the things that you'll want to pay attention to. So your card is card number 20. This reminds me of the watchtower. Habakkuk on the watchtower. So we've got 20. 20 is the card. It is observation appropriately, because Habakkuk was the one that sat on the watchtower. This sign has a double meaning. On the one hand, it signifies that you are observing something closely. On the other, it means that you yourself are being observed or standing in the spotlight. By observing cosmic laws, a knowledge is gained which affects everyday life right down to the finest detail. These laws grant great power to the one who understands and knows how to use them. Such a person possesses true leadership qualities by using intuition and sensitivity instead of force. Use this valuable time to try out new ideas and alter those which have become outdated. Again, that's about that organization that I was talking about with Capricorn. Trust is created by your efforts to do justice to people and relationships, and through trying to understand them in their respective contexts. Your open attitude will create unity and harmony in personal relationships. So again, as you hear that information, this is a time of observation. You're being observed. You could be standing in the spotlight, but you're also observing other laws in nature, and you're also learning how those laws give you the power that you need and learning how to use it. That's that information also from the ancient ones that they may be teaching you, and the power begins with that portal. So I have chosen another card which represents the changing line. So I will be reading the lines that changed in the reading only. And let that kind of be a guidepost for you. And the only changing line that you got was in number 6. So this is pertaining probably to all of you out there, Sagittarians. You have left narrow structures behind, and you can look at your life without merely focusing upon yourself. By not being tied down by everyday events, you recognize the laws of life and how to act correctly. So that kind of goes back to this bobcat energy of independence. You're looking at yourself. You're focusing on yourself and not being tied down to everybody else's rules, but the laws that are governing you. So that is your I Ching reading. And again, wherever that applies or however that applies, could be personal, could be professional, just however it is, you just kind of go with the flow. All right, moving right along. So I'm going to now focus on your wealth reading. Your wealth reading is coming from the laws of attraction for wealth and money. So this is about your wealth. It's about your money. It's about your finances. So I'm going to read this card and this oracle's meaning, but then I'm going to go to the tarot and pull 3 cards for you. One that signifies your current mindset around money. The second one is to deal with your past influences and experiences that actually affect your present or current mindset. And then after that, we're going to go right to what you need to do or where you need to focus after that. So Oracle plus Tarot in this reading for the wealth. So this card says, whatever I desire, I can acquire. I like these cards because it helps you adjust your mindset around money, which is usually what's going to loosen up the blocks if you're having any blocks to your finances or if your manifestation channel is blocked. The eternal laws of the universe steadily hold the promise of expansion and joy. Understanding the laws will reawaken within you the knowledge of your purpose and your own personal power as you remember how to access the power of the universe that creates worlds. If this time-space reality has within it the ability to inspire a desire within you, it is absolute that this time-space reality has the ability to yield you a full and satisfying manifestation of that same desire. It is the law. It is the law of the universe. So keep that in mind, Sagittarius, as you are thinking about money and as money issues arise. Just remember that whatever it is that you desire for yourself, it is possible at this time. You just have to start applying your thinking toward that end, and start to really apply that mentally, so that you're not thinking in the negative, or thinking that I can't have what it is that I really want. The laws of nature says that if it is in you, if it is a part of your desire, then it is possible. You just have to work toward it. All right, so I am pulling these tarot cards here. I just need one more that represents moving forward, thinking about the mindset about your money and what's going to make a difference moving forward. All right, so I have those three here. The first card, which represents your current mindset, is the moon, and it is in reverse. So what that tells me is that there are some underlying things lurking here. And it could be that the underlying thing that's lurking is that you don't really believe that you can acquire what it is that you desire. There may be some shadow principles or some shadow work that you might want to do around your finances. But I'm seeing here that you definitely are kind of feeling lost in the dark, or you might be feeling like you're not really clear, or that there are some illusionary things happening around you in your finances. And I'm going to say the very first thing to think about is that you can't acquire, or there's this feeling deep inside that you may not be able to have what it is that you really want. Not true, and it's time to start adjusting that thinking. In the past influence that is the past experience that's influencing your present situation is the Hermit card in reverse. You may have had a lot of experiences with people around money that may have confused your thoughts. You may have not had the opportunity to really go in and find your inner wealth. You may be operating from other people's thought processes and other people's paradigms, or what their experiences are. So Sagittarius, what you're going to want to do, and I'll look at your moving forward card, what you need to do moving forward, but already what I can see is that you need to not be influenced by other people's experiences with wealth, and also their thoughts about how you should get wealth. Each person's avenue and portal to their inner wealth and their outer wealth is individualized. So everybody's way to get there is individualized. So you want to lean back a little bit off of other people's thoughts about money. And then moving forward into like what you need to do next, or what you need to be focused on next, other than this, is the Ten of Wands in reverse. So Ten of Wands represents burden. So you want to release any kind of debt or any kind of financial burden from your portfolio. You want to release anything that is going to be detrimental. Check on your credit score. Start to clean up your credit if that's your issue. But the main thing is anything that is considered to be a financial burden to you, or burdens in general, anything that is a burden to you could be affecting your finances. So it could be burdensome thoughts, or it could be burdensome situations. Like I said, the debt that you'll want to remove or start to work toward, and let January be the reason for you to start that process for yourself. So that's just a good practice for everybody, and definitely a good practice for you too. All right, so we are moving on to the love reading. This is your love card. I'm going to let you kind of gaze at that and think about, let your mind to see what you see. This is card number 38. These cards are connected to the Kabbalah. So if you're studying the Kabbalah, or you know the Kabbalah, that will mean something. It's associated with the letter Mem, and the Mem is about water. So, and the message is flowing with serenity. So this is about flowing in your love relationships. For those of you who are in a relationship with someone, you want to be in your flow. If you're not in a relationship, then being in your own personal flow may draw that towards you. So I'm going to go right to the text and read the information in the text. It's going to talk to you a little bit about the Kabbalistic meanings and implications for this card. So for those of you who are studying that, or who are a Kabbalist, then that will mean something to you and give you a little bit more to think about. But either way, whether you are or whether you're not, just kind of take in the information. This reading gives gives generally what's going on in this relationship. Remember that these relationships could be soulmate relationships as well as romantic partnerships, spousal relationships, committed partnerships, but it also could relate to soulmates that are not romantically inclined. So if you're not in a relationship right now, you want to think about maybe who you consider to be a great friend or somebody who you are partnering with on this planet at this time. So the letter Mem is the 13th letter, so 13 may be significant to some of you. It is associated with water and earth, coldness and frost. So anybody who might be with somebody who's born in December or is a water sign or a earth sign, this might mean something. Its value is 40, so 4, the number 4. Again, we're talking about 2020 being a 4-year foundational year. 4s may be of significance, and if it is significance to you, this reading may be right where you need to be. It leads from Netzach, which is eternity, to Hod, which is splendor. It's on that path or on that channel. And it's associated with the water element and the hangman, which is about letting go. So this says to flow with serenity. It says deep love and mutual devotion, many joint activities, creation and renewal. So this may typify your relationship, flexibility and fruitful discussions, finding grace with your partner. Desire awakens to create a new life. There's that desire again, and knowing that what you desire you can have. That includes in a relationship. It talks about creating a new life, nourishing it and pampering it, living with a wise person who knows you inside out and is able to penetrate into your soul into mysterious ways. This person notices things that happen under the surface and understands them. Your significant other, could be spouse or committed partner, plays the role of the messenger from heaven that has come to support, advise, and nurture you and works without ego. This person lives and lets you live. The relationship survives thanks to your ability to adapt to all challenges in life. Sometimes it's required to step out of the fixed route in order to avoid obstacles and conflicts and quickly find a new channel in which to flow. Despite the lucidity and openness, some aspects still remain veiled about your partner's personality. Sometimes they keep their motives and goals to themselves. They may behave mysteriously and secretively, and may not provide explanations for their actions. This person protects their privacy and makes a diligent but pleasant effort to be left alone so that their free inner flow is not interrupted. So don't get in the way of that. Or if that is something that you need, then make sure you express that and tell that to your partner. You may get a sense that you're living with an elusive person that you can't control. So it could be you, could be another partner, but just take in the information and again, just kind of let it flow over you. If you are single, then things are happening below the surface. So if you're not in a partnership, things are happening below the surface. A contact with someone you once liked and suddenly disappeared from your life is developing in a positive direction. A good friend will bring you an important message or renew the contact between you. Have patience. Things will be ripe within 40 days. Okay? Until that happens, continue to flow, keep moving, and don't stop your course in life. Very important information. All right, so the next part of this reading is about personality. So this could be your personality, Sag, or it could be the personality of the partner. If you're not in partnership, pay attention to the personality traits. It may define someone that's around you who may be seeking love for you, or it may be the personality traits that you need to bring in, or that you need to look for in a partner. So the personality is a creative, hardworking, ambitious person with a broad world view. They're optimistic, full of interest, and they are multidisciplinary. This person is a devoted person, spouse or partner, a friend, pleasant, spiritual, and sensitive to others. This person could be wise and dreamy, discreet. They know how to advise in difficult situations. They're compassionate and can be trusted blindly. They dislike unnecessary debates, wasting energy, they avoid confrontation, and they tend to yield to others. If somebody proves strong durability and copes honorably with all tasks, even with drastic changes. Sometimes their actions may be unclear to others, and they keep their secrets and motivations to themselves, just like in the other one. The advice is to preserve the peace and serenity and not get into confrontations. Flow with the circumstances and don't let them and don't resist them so that you can overcome a conflict. If you meet obstacles, find another channel in which to flow and be flexible with your surroundings. Go with the natural flow and order and not to interrupt the movement or the creativity. So that's just some general information that you can tap into, especially if you are connecting to another person or if you're looking to go into a relationship with somebody else. Those will give you some of those personality traits, some of the things to look for in your own relationship, but also things to look for within yourself, because again, it takes two to tango in a relationship. All right, so that is January 2020 for you, Sagittarius. If you would like to get a personal perspective of what's going on in your life, you can reach out to me at Kerri, Kerri, at wooingnature.life. As always, I hope you have a pleasant... Oh, there's one more thing I need. I don't know if I said for you to revisit this video throughout the year. I wanted to make sure everybody knew that. But as I was saying, I hope you have a great January, and I hope you have a wonderful life.